I know the show's at 10:30, but here's the thing. These guys are like really knocking down walls and they could come back. So the only reason why I came back on right now is just to save face. Because truth be told, you guys would have not enjoyed the loud banging and demo and construction that's going on in the building. I mean, I would have had to mute my mic several times. But yeah, this was small. People over. Yeah, I was just talking to the brother Rince, and I'd said something here in our conversation. We were just talking about metrics and numbers and streams and follows and royalties, and I said something here that I thought was really, I thought everyone could really benefit from listening to, and it's pretty simple. I know that in modern music, we've all been kind of trained now to define and measure and determine our success on views and follows and charts and metrics. But let's not forget, everybody, that the modern day music model is a model that the numbers can be manipulated by rich and privileged bad actors. And that at any given time, we can only view what's in our own budget, what's in our own wallet. We can only, as musicians, independents, celebrities, fucking consumers, connoisseurs, we've all been kind of trained now to forget about music and just focus on success, right? And we've all been trained, even the consumers, you know, we've been trained to believe that only the best artists have the big numbers, and having big numbers means you play guitar really good. You know, we've all been convinced and trained now that the numbers and the symbols of success are what matters the most. Not necessarily talent, not necessarily being able to add to the quality of anybody's life. We've all been convinced to throw that out the window and make music a fucking competition, right? So, because we are so obsessed with monitoring and measuring numbers and metrics and views and follows, because we're so obsessed with awards and battles and chart systems and trophies, we're so obsessed with the numbers and the algorithms that we've convinced each other as a species that music is an economy. We've convinced each other that it's a popularity contest and that there are good numbers versus bad numbers. This artist, he's got good numbers. And you know, even the consumers will jump in like the experts now, you know, because everyone's got an app, everyone's got a chart app. So now even the consumers chime in like know it alls and they all go, this guy's got good numbers and this artist has got bad numbers. And we're all playing the music stock market. We all think we're fucking experts. But we live in a modern music model where if you're rich and you're privileged and you have fancy networks and friendships, the numbers and the symbols can be manipulated. See, if you're poor, you can't manipulate the numbers. If you're really talented and you're poor, you can't afford to fake it. You can't afford to lie about your success in the music industry. And in a music industry where the model is defined, where success is defined by symbols and numbers, all of you, even the consumers, especially the consumers, have all been trained on popularity contest gadgets. You've trained yourselves into believing that the value of music is a fucking popularity contest. But I'm here to tell you that poor people aren't popular. So that's what I have to say about that. And I will say, by making the music business a competition, makes us all the biggest fucking losers. By making the music industry a competition about numbers, algorithms, and a perceived image of success based on metrics, we are all the biggest fucking losers. Fuck out of here. Good morning, everybody. I'm sorry I'm late, but I'm trying to tell you, they had like construction going on in the basement. It was loud. They were knocking down fucking walls and shit. And there was no way I could have come on here and put you guys through that. Oh, goodness. So how y'all doing, man? Hey, Dada Cricket. What's going on, brother? Hans, how's it going? The chat's coming up a little slow today. Yo, we smoking a joint? Let's do it. I'm not going to be on here for long. I just want to come on and save face. We do have the Honeycomb Hideout tonight. I'm still on the show, but Lexi's now the host of that. And it'll be a little bit different. We'll still cover music industry topics, but we won't have as much as like the deep dives as we do here. Some of you, this is kind of a bizarre thing to bring up here on this program, but every now and then, people will hit us up and ask us to book shows. We are a band, we're not just a talk show. But as a standard, and I think it's worth noting, I'm going to write it down. I'm actually going to we're going to do it together. I'm going to figure out right now how to book Sepsis. Okay, so let's go. Number one, the first thing that you need if you want to book Sepsis as a band is you need a date. Okay? So you need a date. And we usually like to know the date. We like to know the date of any show that somebody wants to book us for. We like to know usually if it's within the region, hopefully 60 to 90 days prior to the event. Does that make sense, everybody? So if you're looking to book Sepsis, try not to book us a month out. Try to plan a little bit, all right? And then approach us, 90 days to the event. That's the best way. Some general information to have on hand would be like how much you're going to pay the band. How much do you plan on paying the band? That is important. Oh, thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate that. How much is good money? We're not one of those type of people. We're not really in music for money like that. That's not the reason that we make music. Of course, we have to pay the bills and we like to make a living. Pay the rent, stuff like that. Not get in any trouble. Be able to afford a decent quality of life day to day. Hey, what's up, Scott? Scott's in the building. So the other thing I would do is I would figure out how much to pay the band. So number one, I would figure out the date. Don't even bother to come and ask. Of course we want to play. You don't have to even email us or inbox the page at that level. I think if you have an idea for a show and you want us to be on it, the first thing you want to do is look at a date, look at the calendar, and decide what that is. And then you want to figure out how much to offer the band. I guarantee you we're probably cheaper than most bands at our level that you're going to book. I think most bands at our level would charge more than us. But I'm challenging you guys out there to see if you can find a band that would beat our price. That's a good one. How much would you travel for? I like that idea, like asking everybody, like, what's a fair amount? How do you, how far do you think? Like, I'm trying to think about how to frame this question where it's universal for everybody in the chat. I might have to really think about this. Yeah, thinking is hard. I just want to know, like, there is no standard, there's no industry standard, and every band gets things done differently. So, like, some bands that are moving around and budgeting, some are pulling trailers, some are using RVs, some are grabbing, rentals or like U-Haul trucks. So all that goes into budgeting, right? Then you got some bands who are like, fuck it, I'll sleep in the car. Like, ultimately, they're leaving with a profit. I'm trying to figure out what time load-in is this Saturday. Does anybody know what time load-in is? Somebody tag Scarecrow Hill. They might know. Somebody tag Bruce Almighty. Yo, Lex, you coming to burn one? Oh, okay. I'm sorry for yelling. Good morning, my friend. Watching Myrocast in the hot seat. With any luck, he will be impeached soon. Oh, yeah. I don't know about all that. I stay away from that kind of stuff, man. I don't get into any, I don't even know about any of that stuff. And especially, this is my band page, so I wouldn't cover any of that stuff here. You got to remember, I got to come on here and be as responsible as possible to attempt to be as transparent when it comes to things like politics or religion or different stuff like that, because I don't think it would be fair to my band members to just like take up the time with what I personally believe about things. And I'll tell you, just for your own knowledge, everybody, I don't follow any religions and I don't follow any political leaders. I don't give a fuck about any of those people. And that's because I'm an ex-convict and I'm an African American, and I don't pay attention to it, bro. Like, I just don't. I'm just glad to be living my life. I like everybody. I like to be left alone. I follow all the rules. I mind my business, and that's it. I like to play music. I like peace. I like eating food. You know what I'm saying? I like pretty girls and guitars. I don't care about deities and I don't care about being superior, being powerful over people. I don't care about who's what color. I don't care about who's more metal than who. That's not for me to figure out. All the leaders and the gods and everybody else can go argue about that. I don't worship anybody. I don't worship any icons. I don't worship any sports figures. I don't even have any role models in rock and roll music. I don't worship the music industry. I don't give a fuck about none of it. I don't care about political leaders, sports figures. Nobody impresses me. I'm actually unimpressed by people. That's why I don't worship, I don't care who's part of what country, who's got better skin color, who's got more numbers than who's got more wavy hair, who hits a better note. I don't care about that kind of shit. I'm just me. I just care about what's going on, on my street first, in my home first, and I'll work my way out from there. I don't want to control the world. I don't want people to think like me. I don't want to convince others that I have better ideas. I don't want to know what you do. I don't want to be in your business. You can fuck off entirely. No, but that's kind of my deal. I don't So when people do ask me, just for the records, for you guys that ever want to get to know me, I don't worship myself. I'm not into selfies. I don't think I'm cool. I don't do creatures that walk on invisible shit. I don't do the Loch Ness monster. I don't do aliens. I don't do Bigfoot. I don't do nothing. I do the rent. I don't do that. While the whole world is talking about what leader and what president, who's color and who's fucking who and who's doing what and whatever, I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. I'm almost 44 years old. I've done over 10 years in prison, and I'm an African American. I just like playing music. That's it. So I don't get into no politics. I don't get into no religions. I don't worship anybody. I don't give a fuck about the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, the Quran, the Bible, none of it. And I only speak for myself. I don't speak for none of the band members. I don't speak for people. I'm not trying to change humanity. I don't even want people to think like me. You know how people want people to think like them? Not me. I don't give a fuck what you guys think. I don't give a fuck one way or another. Vote for who you want and stick it up your ass. Leave me out of it. That's what you could do for me. If you're my friend, leave me out of it. Huh? I just want nothing to do with it. I don't care about that. I don't want it's not my border. I don't own the trees. I don't own the land. I don't own music. I don't own women. I don't own the farm. You guys can all fuck yourselves. I don't do that. All of you guys obsess about that stuff. I'm just a regular creature from the natural planet. I'm not trying to go to space. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm not trying to enslave people. I'm not trying to trick anybody. There's no smoke. There's no mirrors. I don't need a big farm. I don't need a crown, a scepter. I'm just a regular guy. And I don't have nothing to whine about. I don't blame people. You know what I'm saying? I don't say that I'm too brown or I'm too short or nobody ever gave me a shot. I just mind my business. And I think that that's what everybody else should do. I think everybody should get laid more. I think if more people getting laid, I think you wouldn't be worried about borders or red heifers or comets and eclipses. I think if you were getting a decent hand job and a hot meal every day, you'd worry about it a lot less. Fuck out of here with that. I think only people that are bored give a fuck about what's happening at the border. Eat a dick. That's what I think. I think people who haven't fixed the rickety doorknob, I think people who haven't gone and, painted their wall or cleaned up their room or brushed their teeth or, I don't know, watched their own children. I think people haven't figured out that they got bad breath, their pussy stinks, they lie too much. I think those people should worry about what they're doing. I think you should not start the day with what's in your phone or what's going on in Iraq or Iran or who ran or you ran. I think you should start the day in your home, and I think you should mind your own fucking business. That's my general rule of thumb. Treat all people the way you'd expect to be treated. How's that? Fuck politics, fuck religion. Treat bunny rabbits the way that you'd expect to be treated. There you go. This page, we don't do politics, we don't do religion, we don't do racism, we don't do none of that pussy shit. And that's the last time I'll ever say it. That's it. That's the last time I'll tell you. The next time we ever talk about it, I'll block the shit out of you. Casey, how's it going? Jeremy, how's it going? Pat, how's it going? Hans, how's it going? I appreciate y'all for being here for humanity, being here for music, being here for people, being here for freedom, being here for love, being here for sex, being here for weed, being here for anything, but you can't be here for hate and war and all that. Not this page. You can go anywhere on the internet and talk that bullshit, but not around me. I guarantee it. No, that's the way it works. Scott said, we should have more sex than 420. The world would be full of peace. He's right, though. That's why I'm gonna roll this one up. Me and Scott are gonna burn this one right now. Pat said that would be nice for sure. Yes, it's okay to think differently. It's okay that we all have different ideas. Everybody has their own little song, and that's a good thing. If you have confidence, then you don't need to really be self-absorbed or internalize everything or naturally be fearful of the things that you don't understand. You can replace that fear with curiosity, and then that curiosity turns into education, and then that education turns into knowledge, and then knowledge is true power, but not the power that you're thinking about. It's not, sexism or like racial power, you know? It's true power, man. The kind of power that turns into energy, the kind of energy that turns into creations. Smoke these trees. All right, let's cover some stuff because we're gonna sit here and fuck around with me all day. Who cares what I think? Some days I should bring a band member on a day. Wouldn't that be fun? Like just bring I should bring like another band member on and then set up their little screen and they should go over the news with me. Sometimes we'll do band specials. Who would you guys want on first? I'd like to probably like it's nice to have Zach on the honeycomb, but you guys don't know how smart like Zach really is when it comes to the music industry. He's got a lot of insight. He's got a lot of experience. Oh wait, if everyone would wake and bake first thing in the morning, we would be so happy. Yo, Scott's on to something, right? Think about that. Yo, Scott for Prez. That ass. This is the most this is the most unorganized stream I've done so far, so please forgive me. Seriously. So I just wanted to share. Oh wait, no, no, I don't. So there's a update here on the new bill that would force generative AI companies to disclose copyrighted source material. I love this. You know what that means, Lex? It means we can potty in your pants, and and what it really means is that when generative AI crawls the web, when it crawls the internet for information sources, now they have to give credit to that source. Do you like that? California Representative, whatever his name is, introduced a new bill on Tuesday. That was yesterday. See, I told you I'm up to date with this shit. April 9th, that was yesterday, everybody, that would require companies creating generative artificial intelligence platforms to publicly disclose all copyrighted source material used to train their models. You heard? It's called what the fuck is going on? I just noticed that I'm a little close to the Generative AI Copyright Disclosure Act. The legislation would require anyone creating training data sets or making significant changes to an existing data set to submit a notice to the Register of Copyrights. Mm. Basically, so anytime they're getting prepared to steal your copyrighted material, they have to tell you. That notice must contain a detailed summary of any copyrighted works used and the URL for any publicly available material. I love this because people that are, the source originators should get credit for it. The Register of Copyrights would then publish a publicly available database containing all the notices. AI has the disruptive potential of changing our economy, our political system, our day to day lives. That's what one dude said in an official statement in which he described the proposed legislation as striking an appropriate balance between supporting technological advancements and respecting creativity. Quote, we must balance the immense potential of AI with the crucial need for ethical guidelines and protections. I think it's good. The letter calls out some of the biggest and most powerful companies for using artists' work without the permission to train AI models and create AI generated deep fakes that could substantially dilute the royalty pools paid to the artists because everybody cares about that. Nope, we don't want to dilute any royalty pools, do we? God forbid we'd ever do that, because that never happens ever. No, it's fucked up, dude. Geo, did you get? I was gonna say you got to tag Geo because now he's about to go through the roof. We don't even have any more tables to flip because I know he's got to bring the two to Rockfest. If he flips the two tables that we have at Rockfest, we ain't gonna have no merch. My friend. Thank you, my friend. Gracias, my friend. Yeah, I don't endorse this shit. Thank you, my friend. My friend. Scott said he's sick of the fucking artificial intelligence. He's fucking sick of it. I want to meet Scott. Scott's my new friend on here. Scott's awesome. I think we gave him a swarm commander badge. Really? That's how awesome he is. Fuck yeah. He's kicking butt. Fuck yeah, Scott. No, we like the people that talk to us because we're talkative, so we're always trying to talk to people. Nobody likes to talk anymore. Here's Geo. He said, "Join my army, Rage Against the Machine, defeat AI, and then we'll go out for drinks after." It's like, yo, puff, puff, pass. Come on now. And Hans said the pool is getting bigger. The pool is getting bigger the size of the ocean. That's almost as bad as me when I write stuff. I think he's trying to say it's getting bigger than the ocean. But that's not what he said. He said something different. He was trying to say. What is he talking about? It was a typo. I was trying to help fix it. Son of a bitch. All right. Did you guys like that? I don't know if Gio, did you miss that already? I hope he didn't miss that. Anyways, that was good for Gio. He likes this. He wants this. This was yesterday. So, as I always mention on here, I think people pretty much ignore me. I really do. And that's fine. But what I mention here is that the modern music industry is really driven by the law and technology. And I think that's why a lot of the stuff I say is like not recognizable to consumers and why people think I'm just either bullshitting or making stuff up. And that's why I have this live stream to show you that the music industry has nothing to do with music or culture or connectivity or bringing us closer together or any of those things. It has to deal with, well, capitalism for sure, but it has to deal with the limited and most popular rich people becoming successful and rewriting the definition of success in the modern music industry, not talented people. That's all. I think that, and I'm always saying that I think that we should prioritize quality and talent in the music industry. I think we should prioritize the quality and the talent, and I think we should put a lot of our value in authenticity, uh, and people being qualified to perform and play. I think we should put our value. I think we should host our value in authenticity, quality, the qualifications. That yeah. Oh, Lexi's in here. What's up, Lexi? Oh, there you go. Then you may think differently. That's what makes us all interesting. There's already people that believe the music industry should be a popularity contest. It already is. There's already the majority of people that feel the music industry um, should be built on algorithms and metrics. That's why it is today. There must have been um, an an astounding amount of people that at one point advocated for this modern day ecosystem, and that's what we have currently. Whether we continue to make advancements to that together or separately is yet to be seen. But every time I talk about success in the music business, I usually get reminded about algorithms and robots, and social media sites, in numbers, in metrics, in charts, you know. So I know that this is a popular topic for people because anytime you talk about music, we have to talk about algorithms, numbers, and charts. But when I talk about it online, all of a sudden people get fatigued. Oh, hold on now. It's like, but when people talk about, if you sit down at the table at lunchtime, you start talking about the charts, you start talking about who's popular in music, the trends, everyone starts talking about numbers and charts and gadgets. But when I talk about numbers and charts and gadgets on the Sepsis page, I don't talk about them in a way that worships them. And then everyone's fatigued. Why aren't we fatigued worshiping them? Why aren't we fatigued of the modern music industry competition game? You know what I'm saying? Like, if anyone at the coffee table in the morning, if anybody in the lunchroom brings up the conversation about modern artists and music and who they like or what's popular or streaming, you eventually get to the conversation of views and numbers and who's got more followers. And that's what we always talk about. I'll bring up talent, somebody will talk about numbers. I'll bring up how nice somebody is, someone will bring up how many followers they have. I'll bring up how qualified somebody is, somebody will bring up how poor they are, or how their image is, or how many metrics they have, or comments, or reactions. I'll bring up how well somebody has developed or how much they have worked, and somebody will bring up how many followers. They'll bring up algorithms and numbers because consumers and musicians have been taught to worship algorithms, metrics, and perceived symbols and images of success. And as long as you worship them, as long as you bow the fuck down, as long as you stay submissive and you're not speaking out about it, as long as you're not on the other side of the coin It's okay to talk about numbers and metrics and algorithms. It's okay to talk about them in a way that they add value to us. But I'm one guy on the internet. And as soon as I talk about algorithms and metrics and the harm they might be doing, as soon as I start talking about the music industry being an industry of battles, reactions, algorithmic solutions, methods, when I talk about the music industry being a competition, people get fatigued. They don't want to hear it anymore. Like everybody's talking about it or something. I'm one guy. I'm one guy on the whole internet. I'm the only guy on the internet that says, fuck Spotify entirely. There isn't one person that even has the balls to say it. I am the only guy on the fucking planet who has said boldly, fuck streaming. Not kind of, fuck that shit entirely. I'm the only person on the internet that says fuck Battle of the Bands for any reason. Because music is not a competition. Music is not an economy. And music is not an algorithm or a social app. That's just something they convinced you of. And that's why I have the power to tell you to fuck your mom. Because I'm not concerned with worshiping some weird ass make-believe chart monster. If I don't get along, hey, what's up, Chad? Let me read some of you guys' stuff. Scott says, eat the fucking rich. Rich people are different beings compared to the rest of the world. They don't know what it is to work for a goal in life. They just get handed stuff and they feel like they deserve everything. I gotta say, there are people. Some of them are like that. There are some people too that are, there are some people that are very fortunate, and let's face it, being popular or talented doesn't always mean that you're rich, and being popular and talented and rich doesn't always mean that you're happy, right? Casey Rose says, approachable, talented, and quality people make you a valuable and very wanted band. Well, I appreciate that. I would rather be authentic, and people, I think, would appreciate us being. I hope that people would appreciate us being authentic and hoping that, understanding that we've replaced being authentic with any idea of chasing popularity. It's like risky for some might say, that but that's what it is, Casey. Is it's like, I don't think that we're willing. We've tried, truthfully, we've tried. There's been situations, in myself and Melissa's past where we've tried to sacrifice our authenticity, and it didn't go well for us. That's just us. We can't be bought. We just can't. We're that band that we can't operate, knowing that our authenticity is on the line. We always want to be the type of people, no matter how we define success, we always want to try to be the musical group that people can remember, being able to send a message to or walk right up to us at a concert. You know what I mean? And sometimes we have to sacrifice people pleasing behaviors. And that can mean people not ever listening to our music because they might listen to something I say. They might listen to something powerful that Melissa says on stage. They might walk out before the second song. Sometimes she likes to talk very briefly. She doesn't have a lot to say on stage. But when she does speak on stage, she writes these little powerful, almost like little poems, I'd say. And then we start the music. But every time she does that, you know what I mean? You risk either people gluing themselves to the stage or being repulsed. Because, if you're saying something powerful, if you have a big enough charge, there's somebody out there that's going to be like, oh, I don't like what they're doing. I don't like what they're saying. And we know that, because if there's nobody out there that doesn't like what you're doing, if you don't get some shit, then you're not putting out a big enough charge. You're not putting out a big enough energy out there in the world. So that's why we have to have thick skin, because we're experienced and we know what we believe in. We know where we stand going into the situation. We know where we stand going into the conversation about streaming. We know where we stand when we go into the conversation about fairness and about equality. But thank you, Casey, for saying that, because, for the sake of entertainment, it's good for me to be authentic because I'm going to show parts of my personality that might be secret or private. So it could make for some really good content, right? But I also open myself up in a vulnerable way for people to not like me. You know what I'm saying? Because I come on the internet, and because I'm so authentic, I really take a risk of people actually not liking me because I might show somebody 20 seconds of my real personality or an amplified version of it, and people might see that online and they might look at that 20 or 30 second interaction or event with me and go, oh, I don't like that guy, so I'm never going to listen to Melissa's music. You see what I'm saying? So being yourself, going live for as long as we have, we've been doing this for 10 years. People can go back for 10 years and watch us living our lives on the internet. There's not too many people that are that psychopathic to do that. But we've been doing it for 10 years. Me and Melissa have been going live every single week, almost every day, every single week, you know, making a living doing this. So, and at times our real life does pop out, and that can be even more confusing because most of the time what are people seeing are like scheduled, although authentic, like scheduled or like manufactured, appropriate times. We've washed our face, we've done our hair. You know what I'm saying? There's not too many times that, we let the cameras roll, when all disasters is taking place. So, and that's not a real reflection of life. That's not an accurate, authentic reflection of who we are, right? Because real people cry and real people go through pain and real people get scared and real people got bills to pay. We don't show that stuff online. So it looks like we're always happy. It looks like we're always successful. It looks like we're always just doing sepsis. It looks like we have nothing better to do than just be online. If you watch us a lot or if you bump into our pages routinely, not just sepsis, but any band online or any creator or YouTuber, it just seems like this is all we do. And, we're so privileged and, maybe this doesn't take any effort and there's nothing that happens when we shut off the camera. We just, sit there and fart. No, many of us have 2 and 3 and 4 different jobs and we're working all the time. And when the cameras go off, we're dealing with life on life's terms. So, I mean, that's all I had to say about that, really. Um, I do appreciate that. because sometimes I worry about that. Um, because we might cover a topic. There's a variety of personalities and topics that we might cover that could either energize somebody in a way that encourages them to listen to our music, um, or potentially it could drive them away from that. And that's something that we are very self aware about. We do realize that. Um, I'm responsible for whatever I say on the internet. I'm aware of that. So, not everything I say is going to be attractive or people pleasing to everyone. And I have to know that when I say certain things, I got to be able to mean what I say and say what I mean most of the time, right? Somebody be able to call you on that. Music, this is Scott. Music is for music. Talent is for talent. He says, I think people love to be brainwashed and not led to be themselves. It has been like that for fucking ever. It's sad people can't be leaders and not followers. I follow no people. Let apps or fucking machines control my life. I follow my own fucking self. I mean, I can't argue with that. Brandon says, what's up? Yo, what up, homie? He says, woo, woo. I'd rather be hated for being me and blunt and honest than being liked. I kind of agree with you there, Scott. I ain't gonna lie. Like I said before, I think that if no one is challenging what you say, if people didn't come online and give me shit, if people didn't, um, if people weren't irritated by my music, you know, I think that I'm not putting out a big enough charge. You know, if there wasn't a couple people that came to me every week or every month and was like, your music's trash, or I don't like what you have to say, or your hair looks funny, then that means I'm not putting myself out there enough to begin with, you know? I feel like anybody that's putting themselves out there, whether you're a comedian or a band, I don't give a fuck if you're in construction. I think if you're in a construction company and you start putting up a lot of signs and you start showing off your buildings and you start showing off your work and your advertisement, you know what I'm saying? I think that other construction companies and landscaping companies are going to raise their eyebrow and get, you know what I'm saying? And people are going to rip your signs down and pull your magnets off the wall and do stupid shit because people do stupid shit. Brandon's like, nah, see, when the camera goes off, Will's on Halo. That's what y'all don't know. That's pretty accurate. Um, but, you know, Scott says that he'd rather be hated, and basically he's saying he would rather be blunt and honest and put it all on the table. And I kind of, I think I feel a lot less anxiety with Scott's version. You know, I'm good at doing what Scott does because I don't like any debts. I don't. People don't have to explain themselves to me. I don't know if people know that about me. Like nobody has to people please me. I don't write music to go viral. You know, I don't write, we don't storyboard music videos or play with cameras or participate in music hoping to go viral. Like when I write a song, I'm not writing a song or composing a song with some sort of template or some sort of algorithmic prefabricated um I don't have some sort of blueprint of success when I'm writing music and trying to express myself. I mean, things get organized and adjusted and seasoned to taste, but I don't study trends uh, to write music. I don't have a, when people ask me what's my formula, you know, does it go intro and 16 measures and then a pre-chorus? Nah, I mean, wherever, you know, whatever really feels good, and whatever's like intellectual, whatever energy's pulling the song, that's what I'm searching for. I'm not trying to force that down your throat. So sometimes I'll write music and the music is just to be written. I don't write music going, oh, I hope Spotify's going to like this. I don't write music hoping that there'll be some sort of an algorithmic um that I don't write music hoping that I'll be algorithmically in step with what the music industry is looking for, or even like truly like consumers. Now I will say this, that I do talk to my fans, people that are fans of my music and aren't embarrassed to be fans. I'm not talking about fake fans. I'm talking about actual real fans of my music, that people come up to me on the street and go, "Oh my God, I'm a real fan of your music. I like this song and this song." You know, um, I do listen to those people. When those people give me feedback on my music, I do listen to them. Everybody else, fuck them. I ignore them. That might be disappointing for hundreds of thousands of people. But I'm being honest with you. When the majority of people, um, even when they love my music, I usually, um, I give people time. I give people time, because I've written a lot of our music for people to live with our music. Our music is not written to be viral. Our music is not written to be listened to one time. So what I'm saying is, a lot of people might not even like Sepsis music, because when I compose music, I don't compose music or design it like manufacturing. I don't manufacture my music. I expressively compose it. I arrange it. It's intelligent. You know, I try to use some form of intellectual. I like to have an intellectual guide, but oh yeah, yeah. Um, I'm not trying to. I got into composing music to break the rules. So, you know, I didn't get into self-expression to follow the rules. You can learn the rules and then break them, but I'm only going to learn the rules to break them. You know what I mean? So, like in terms of music and music theory, sure, I know the rules, but I learned the rules, make no mistake, so I could break them. After, you can't really get to break the fucking rules until you learn them. You know what I mean? So, I don't, when I compose and arrange music, um, the people I do listen to are my truest, most public fans. People that are defenders of my music are the people that I listen to, in terms of like how my music is peer reviewed. People that are true fans of my music, they have a say in the where the music is going. People that are true public fans of Sepsis, people who wear our gear, people who play our music in public, people who share our message, people who are clear, and people that aren't secret fans of Sepsis. There are a lot of secret fans. We love you. Yeah, fuck you. We actually like the ones that are public. The ones that are public, the ones that are screaming from the rooftops, those are the people that help shape the future of this band. Make no mistake. So it's like, those are the people that we give our attention to, because we feel that that's who we're writing the music for. And the people that really like our music, they know that our music gets better over time. That if you listen to our music, you will notice over time there'll be more to learn about the music. That some people really don't like our music because a lot of times, in order to like some songs, you might need to listen to it 2 or 3 times, and then there are other songs, you are not going to like, because we have a lot of variety, and we have a diverse way of, um, trying to get our message across. So from song to song, our music might sound stylistically a little bit different. So we also write our music knowing that if you're a fan of Sepsis, there's no way you're gonna like every song. You know what I mean? You're not gonna love every song that we ever make. We're gonna eventually write a song where you're like, that one's not really mine. But that's okay, because we're as a band, we're not into writing. We're not trying to write a hit. We're not worried about writing hits. What we want to write, if I feel like if we to our real fans out there, our goal is to write 5 great songs in your lifetime. So if we come out with 3 albums or something like that within the career of Sepsis, we're hoping to put out like 3 or 4 albums. We're on our 2nd album right now. Okay? We're not a forever band. If we write 5 songs in our lifetime relationship, in our career, if Sepsis writes 5 songs and you guys enjoy 2 of them, then I feel like we're winning. You know what I mean? I feel like we've all got something to hold on to. Even my favorite artists, I'm not gonna name them all right now, but most of my favorite artists, I think I like probably under, like I probably really fan out on probably 5 to 8 songs of theirs. Like Pantera is one of my favorite bands, but I think and I like all of their stuff. It's not that I dislike something. It's just like I am a fan of probably 20% of the material. When you boil it down, I like Sepsis music, but I like it. But I'm not crazy about every song. There's some songs that some days are important to me, and sometimes, there are others that jump out at me. And Sepsis is not my favorite music. But that's okay, right? Like, and the reason why Sepsis isn't my favorite music, because I like all music. Sepsis is a rock and roll band. We're a hard rock band. We're a heavy metal band. I don't always want to hear hard rock and heavy metal. You know what I mean? So like sometimes Sepsis can't do it. Sometimes I need some rap music. Sometimes I need some reggae music. Sometimes I need classical. Sometimes I need just Spanish guitar, Jeremy says, I sometimes find joy and amusement in exploiting loopholes. Yo, I ain't mad at you. Brandon says, I admit there is some songs I don't like, but I don't hate. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I like a lot. I like a lot of music. And I think when people don't love something, they go, I hate it. No, it's just, I'm not crazy about it. It doesn't mean that it's not good. Like, there's a lot of music out there that's really, 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 really good. It's just, it might not be my taste or my energy. See, at least with our band, you got to understand that we don't write music for one single dude. So I actually find it strange when people I'm skeptical when people go, I like every song. I like everything that comic does, everything that comedian does. I like all of them. It makes me just a little skeptical. Not of the comedian, not of the quality of the comic. Nope, get the quality of the relationship of the fan. Fans want their artists to be authentic. Artists want their fans to be authentic. Come on, man. It's a two-way street. Come on, man. We don't want people running up to us. Oh, my God, you're the favorite. If we're your favorite, then that's awesome. And allow us to really receive that. If we're not, you're not breaking anybody's heart. Do you know that local musicians are the fucking kings and queens of rejection? Nice try. We are if you are in a local band, if you've been in a local band for more than 3 years, put your horns in the air because you passed the rejection test. Like, come on, man. So fans don't need to come up and lie to their artists and to their favorite artists. No, but I think fans have to find their favorite artists. You know how artists have to find their fan base, and when artists complain that the music industry is not fair and the world is so unfair, God knows you guys have heard me say it a million times. But you know what people tell me all the time, and they're right. People tell me all the time, and they're right. They go, William, you got to remember, it is Sepsis's responsibility to go find your fan base. It is Sepsis's responsibility to go find their super fans and their supporters. It's not the label. It's not Spotify. It's not streaming. The fans aren't supposed to. Well, hold on. You're absolutely right. It is every single artist's responsibility and priority to find their fan base. You can't just put your music out there and expect people to just run towards it. An artist has an overwhelming amount of responsibilities sometimes in terms of having to locate, define, and make a connection with their fan base. No record label is going to do that for you. But just the same, audiences, consumers, fans, supporters, you know, if you're really a public fan, if you're really a fan of these bands, these YouTubers, then be a public fan. Don't be a secret fan. It is your responsibility as a fan to help grow that artist. If you say you're a fan of Sepsis, then you should be turning people on to that. If you're a fan of, you know, Nick Nocturnal or your favorite YouTuber or something like that, then don't be a secret fan. And you don't have to be a fan of everybody's work. You don't have to be a fan of every single song. You don't have to be a fan of every stream. You don't have to agree with everything that William says. There are 6 other people in the band. But I strongly feel if you claim that you're a public fan of music, you need to be publicly out there making a connection with your favorite artists. The same way you want your artists to be authentic, artists want fans to be authentic. Okay, so Scott says, I agree. I can go from Tupac to Slayer in one car ride. Oh, yeah, man. I just go with the flow. That's what I'm saying, brother. Yeah. Like, totally. It's about the mood and the frequency of the day, Scott. I totally feel that. Especially on a drive. Like, when you're driving, oh, man. I feel like our music and our band, I think it is good for driving music, and I think that it's good for like working out or exercising. That's what I think our music is good for. If anybody ever asked me like, what do you do with Sepsis music? Like, what should I do with it? I would say try to exercise. You know what I mean? Put it in an exercise. Put it in an exercise. I think our music is a lot of times for activities, for people, and it doesn't mean it like I don't mean like physical activities like racing cars. I mean like washing the dishes, you know what I mean? Like I've heard a lot of people say they put on Sepsis when they clean the house, stuff like that. When they do it, you know what I mean? They put it on in the yard when they're doing like yard work, you know, stuff like that. Skateboarding, hula hooping, um, going on walks. I've heard a lot of people say they draw. They listen to our music and draw. So like that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like all type of different music is for different activities and different functions. And you should like salt and pepper and seasonings. You guys should be able to season your life. You know, think of music as the soundtrack to your day. Think of your day as like being like a movie. You know what I mean? And you get to play the soundtrack throughout your day. You get to help your mood, and you get to help with the frequency of the day. Jeremy says, right. As we've said before, I am a fan of a lot of bands and artists. I don't love all of their material, but I don't hate it either. Right, right. And artists don't need to have to put out hits. Like, not every song has to be a viral hit. Like, it's artists should be encouraged to put out music that's just good. It doesn't have to be the absolute best of everything. And if they want to do something after that, so be it. But this whole idea is that we always have to be in current competition, not only with ourselves, but we have to be in competition with celebrities. We have to be in competitions with other independent artists. We have to be in competitions with the fans now. Now the fans are crazy about numbers and how much, numbers that we need to have before they even start listening to us. Now you got to have a certain amount of numbers before the fans will even give it a listen to. That's not music, man. I'm telling you that's not music. That's man-made. Let me put it to you this way. You never see celebrity bands in any promotional battle of the bands. I mean, who are you kidding? You don't think people would pay to see that? Don't sit here and tell me there's no money in it. So why don't you see Paramore versus Spirit Box in the cage match, in the battle? How come you never see Megadeth versus Metallica on stage in Detroit? You telling me people wouldn't pay for that? You telling me people wouldn't pay top dollar to see the big four bang it out on stage in a band battle that people could be interactive with? You can make an app and sell $1 million. Someone's going to steal this reel right now and make $1 million. But what I'm saying is you telling me that consumers and fans in the prehistoric caveman social media mentality that we all have now, all hooked on metrics and mayhem and bum fights and people disrespecting each other in the middle of the streets. Most of the videos and viral videos are out there of people throwing up and car crashes and beating up animals and old ladies and stuff like that. So you telling me in this day and age, as prehistoric thinking as we are right now, that we would not pay to see, Disturbed versus Avenged Sevenfold in the band battle? Of course. But why don't professional bands do band battles? As much of a cool promotion that would be. It would be like Mike Tyson and Jake Paul or whatever that other kid name is or whatever. It's just like, it's like an oddity. It's like a sideshow. It's like a circus act. That's the music industry. Everybody knows in the professional music industry that Battle of the Bands is too disrespectful, because professional musicians know that music is not a competition. That's why you don't see Spirit Box versus Icon for Hire. That's why you don't see Stitched Up Heart versus Halo Scene. You see what I'm saying? Because the artists, they have a real professional standard, and that standard is they have the knowledge and wisdom to understand that professional bands don't need to battle each other to gain recognition. Professional bands would not consider a battle of the bands, even for promotional purposes, because they know that music's not a competition. You only see amateur bands that do that would even consider. Only amateur bands would consider a battle of the bands. That's an amateur band feature. Yeah. Real musicians don't need to battle their neighbors to prove that they play guitar. They just play guitar. Writing good music, you just write the fucking music and play the fucking music. It's not a fucking contest. Jeremy says, it annoys me when people are like, if you don't love 100% of XYZ of an artist's material, you can't call yourself a fan? I've never heard of that. That's crazy, bro. I don't believe that. Let me hold on. More on this in a second. I don't agree with that one bit. So you're saying that. Sorry about the paper. I've never heard of that before. You're saying that there are people out there that believe if you don't like an artist's entire catalog, that you're not a real fan of that artist? I think that is really intense, man. And here's what I got to say about it. Sepsis is not a forever band. Like we're probably not going to have 15 albums. You know what I mean? So what does that mean? It means that our albums usually, conceptually, we all hope that they have 11 songs on them at least. So at best, even if you had 3 albums, okay, you're talking about in our discography, there'll probably be under 100 songs in our catalog by the time everything is said and done. Imagine that. That's a small catalog for today's standards. And that's our plan. We hope that it goes that way. Um, but with that being said, we are well aware that even with a smaller catalog like that, um, we don't design our music for everyone to like every single song. We write every song and we design each song specifically for whoever needs to hear it. I can't even say it a different way. Not every song that we write is for every single person. And I think that's why a lot of music sounds shitty. And that's why a lot of music sounds the same. Because people look at an idea that they think is successful. And then there's only so many people at the top that are actually successful. So those limited people at the top that are successful, everyone else gets to learn from the very few people that are supposedly successful. So people go, well, I want to be like Metallica. I want to be like Disturbed. I want to be like these other bands because they're the only ones that are successful. So then you have to buy products. You have to buy into gadgets. You have to buy into strategies and labels. And you have to buy into all these other fancy friendships that the most successful people have. It gets repackaged, it's repurposed, and they tell you can be like Metallica, you can be like Disturbed, you can be like Paramore, as long as you go through this marketing agency and use this producer and you use this amplifier. And that's why all the bands sound the same. Scott said, when I was in a band 30 years ago, we would all go to the other band shows and support each other. Yeah, you're supposed to. Many of us still do. Jeremy said that in itself is a good thing. You all don't vomit out content just to have it out there. Yeah, no. There's more passion and focus in every piece. Thank you. And there really is like, it's a goal of ours. It really is a deep desire for us to not just put out music, but we want to try to continue to get better at it. And we think we have a plan to do that. We like our music to evolve in a natural way. That if it had to be compared or competitive with anything, it would have to be compared or competitive only to itself. Whew, that was hard to say. But I feel better about it. Hey, look, I love y'all out there, and I hope you guys have a good rest of the week. I really hope you do. Be cool, be safe. Melissa had a great birthday yesterday. We all went out. Um, Huge shout out to her family for coming down. The whole tribe was down. We're all going to be hanging out this weekend in Lowell. If you're in the, excuse me, my God, I'm going crazy. If you are in the Worcester area, why the fuck was I thinking about Lowell? I think it's Hans's fault. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, so really, if you're in the Massachusetts area, if you are in the Worcester area, the Connecticut area too, please stop by at the Raven. I gotta go find out right now when loading is. Y'all be cool. Thank you guys.